So welcome everybody. We have 9:30 Central European time, 1 o'clock in Sri Lanka. So we can open up our last question and answer session for this online retreat with Bhante's Dhammajiva. So if people have questions, they can write them into the chat, or they can raise the hand, or I have also received one question via email, so I will read it to Bhante when there will be no other questions from the live participants. Takže vítajte, otvárame našu poslednú sekciu otázok a odpovedí na našom online zásede s Bhante Dhammajivom. Otázky môžete dávať do chatu, alebo sa ich opýtať, alebo sa písať mailom. Jedna mailová otázka aj prišla, takže keď nebudú otázky od účastníkov naživo, tak ju prečítam Bhantemu.
Yes, we are ready from this end.
Thank you, Bhante. So in case anybody has a question, we are ready.
So this is Claudia again. Hello. So if nobody has a question, I would like to report again.
Yes, you are welcome.
Since yesterday, the meditation shifted attention a little bit. It's more to the body, and there is a lot of release and relief going on. Sometimes the body is moving a lot, and at the time also the mind is very turbulent, and I'm aware that there is a lot of processes going in the mind, but I don't really remember exactly what was going there. I just know that there are it's just like a flood of thoughts or broken ideas or whatever. And sometimes the body is very peaceful, just like a piece of rock, but still I can feel that a lot of release is going on. It's just like many tensions are coming to end. Some of them I perceive like strings or steel wires somehow tightening down my body, and now they are getting finer and thinner and finally bursting open, or sometimes it's just going fainter and fading away without completely bursting into completely release. But the overall impression is that a lot of release of physical tension and relief on the mental level. And also the buzzing and trembling and rumbling sensation, both in the body and mind, just like sitting on a power generator or being a power generator, is now getting much smoother and finer, and it all calms down. And it's just like very light vibrations or very slight buzzing sound. So that is my current experience in the meditation. And also yesterday, what you told us, this make sati a hobby, not a task. So this helped me a lot in the daily activities, and it's really just like a game now for the mind. And it's actually very happy or appreciating when it's mindful in daily activities, when eating or walking or whatever. So that was my report, Bhante. Thank you.
So when I was in Panditarama, there's one yogi, I can't remember, maybe from Canada, explain about this background thoughts and the foreground thoughts and kind of thing. And Sayadaw was not clear, and again reiterated the question, and he gave such a lucid answer, and he thought that he taught us in a question and answer session some kind of inert thoughts, that is partial thoughts. They are no value unless otherwise you focus your attention, they become a train thoughts or chain thoughts, then only they become meaningful. Otherwise, they are very inert, just background. So this is happening all the time. This is a sign of living. It's a sign of not sleeping. It's a sign of mindfulness. So ergo cogito sum is the expression by René Descartes. I think, therefore I am. So now when we are in meditation, the thoughts are there but no meaning. They become just inert. And then you feel like letting go. So it is vomiting like, it is frothing like, it is pus coming off out of a wound like, and after a while wound get healed. So otherwise you are fighting with thoughts. You try to find the meaning of it, the good and the bad of it, and the complete ideas and fabrication and storytelling. So instead, if you just look at, of course you must have mindfulness and then be preparedness, then they frothing out. So this is called catharsis. This is called the healing part of the mind. So it is very rare, it's very expensive, very luxurious, very rare thing. So once it happens, you feel like how much I made stories out of these inner thoughts. And I don't know, people call them artificial intelligence, utter foolishness. These things are frothing out, but once they go out, they become just inert. And if you catch hold it, you may find meaning for yourself, and you become hard and fast with yourself, and you judgmental and make decisions, and ultimately you get disappointed. So therefore, this is the way. Let it happen. Don't claim this as me or mine or myself. Just let it happen. And once that experience, many people experience, of course, in the sitting posture, but even in walking, it can happen. Later, whatever the position, whatever the object, whatever the time of the day, whatever the age, you can understand they are happening throughout. They are not belongs to me. It is like you are hiring out your auditorium and many people come and hire it and play different drama, like tragic or comedic. You are just observing. You are not recognizing it with the tragedy or comedy. You are just hire out, lent out, and something like. So you can see why the people are so much with the distress, so much with the fear, so much with the fever, and so much with the psychological problems, because they do not know how to relate with the thoughts. So still you are learning, still you are sorting it out, still you are digesting it, and more it happens, more and more healing and fading off the picture, so that you are not worrying about much. So ultimately, once it come up to a certain level, you can talk with others, and the other party also going to get the same kind of a release by talking, because you are not taking a stand. Your thoughts and everything is selfless, non-judgmental, but mere listening. And there are very good book you can read, Thought Without the Thinker by Turman. And the first page, it says there are two bed and the chair is there. Bed for the psychiatric patient and the chair for the psychiatric doctor. Both of them are empty. Counseling happens in the emptiness. That is the best. I don't know whether I am understanding what the Claudia is telling. That is what I thought of sharing with you.
Yes, thank you, Bhante. Yes, I feel it's a process of release and like letting out everything and not interfering. It's just now it's very dominant, so that's why I was reporting. But I feel inside that it's very good what is going on, that is going out, and the mind is not trying to catch or understand or make any sense out of it. You're just observing it and letting it go.
So when you feel free, write them in German so that others can understand Claudia is running mad.
Yes, something. Actually, it's true. It is like madness. If I would try to make sense of it, then it's really like a madness. But actually, it's a very nice feeling to get rid of it.
Why don't you share with other German square minds?
I think that's all from Claudia. So do we have any other question?
Thank you, Bhante. If there's, can I ask a question while
Yes, please.
Thank you, Bhante. I was just a general question. When I meditate, my meditation is always on the breath, and I was just wondering whether I should do other types of meditation as well, like other people recommend, like Asubha Bhavana or body parts, or watching sensations of the body. And then they say, watch the sensations and see the impermanence of sensations arising, passing. And then you can see that of all the feelings and perceptions and thoughts. Should I do those a mixed amount of meditations?
Usually say no, because mindfulness is the mother and father of everything. If you are mindful, when and where necessary, things will happen. Otherwise, you will be directing your mind as you wish, but it may not be your personality. So therefore, if there is no blockage for mindfulness, please continue. That will monitor, that will steer you to the correct position, and then we have enough time to practice all these things. So therefore now main thing is to make the clarity of the mind, make the space for the spiritual development, and not necessarily to direct it to this and that.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, Bhante, because I thought I need to progress on my the breath, and I just follow the Satipatthana Sutta, the instructions on there as much as possible. And then I was just thinking, naturally, as I progress on the breath, then the metta would gradually develop as well, alongside maybe as my mind purifies as in due course gradually. Would that be the case, Bhante?
I would say when you are practicing mindfulness, Satipatthana, if you have the hate problems, if you have reaction problem, if you have any kind of a interaction with, then only you have to use metta. If there is no such blockage, if there is no such distraction, you must not worry about shifting your attention to the other method of meditation. As you continue, metta will set in. It's in due course. First and foremost, you may feel comfortability in sitting, comfortability in walking, and other kind of thing. That is the self-love. That is the self-loving kindness, and that will radiate as and when you advance in mindfulness.
That's interesting. I mean, would I be? Is it a correct question to ask how, just by watching the breath, how one's consciousness purifies the process?
As you enter into the breath, as you take the breath as your primary object, and whenever you know, now the breath is my primary object, your mind is free of the tension regarding the rest of the world, the frustration regarding the rest of the world. So that's a purification. And when the breath also ceases to exist, that also purify. So that is the way you take the pivot of breath and push off all the other tension and the frustration, everything pertaining to the rest of the world. And the breath is gradually disappearing itself, then the related breath-related tension, frustration also slowly disappearing. So that is a rational way of explaining how the purification happens. Purification of or getting rid of tension, frustration and the anguish.
Thank you, Bhante. I was, yes, purifying the mind. So that's what they mean by that. And right. And lastly, Bhante, why is it that the consciousness is always having thoughts? I've noticed that thoughts are always there. The conscious, it's never not there.
So you have to go to the sea and see where the waves are going to stop. Sea is not the wave is not the sea, but the wave means sea means wave. So there should have some signs. The ergo cogito sum. I think, therefore I am. That is the Western psychology started. So just let it happen. Don't consider as my thought, my mind, my consciousness. So they are phenomena.
Yeah, lovely. That's wonderful. Thank you, Bhante. Appreciate
Welcome.
that. Thank you.
Thank you. So Padma has raised a hand. You may ask a question now.
Bhante, Theruvan Saranai.
Theruvan Saranai.
Bhante, Maha, because you are not very busy today, I thought of asking a question, or not only to ask a question, but to report what I am doing now. I have been following you for a long time, and my meditation I think is improving, because I sit down for a longer period during this COVID period, and I do more often as well. I do a little bit of walking, and when I sit down, my main primary object is my breath, and very easily I can concentrate on the breath, and it settles down very easily, and once it goes out, it comes back. I know that it comes back because my attention goes to the touch at the tip of the nose. And once the breath settles down, I can see the beginning, the middle, and the end, and also the gaps between each in-breath and out-breath. And gradually the distance between the gaps reduce, and the breath becomes really invisible, unidentified. It becomes in and out, both becomes the same. And then my attention gradually goes to my body. Inside I am empty, but the surface of my body I can feel because of the very tiny vibrations. And the whole body is like a mass of flux. And sometimes there are flashes of feelings going around the body, various parts of the body. And that is where I stay right through my meditation. I try to sit down for about 2 hours. Sometimes it breaks up about 1.5 or 1 hour, 15 minutes, definitely more than 1 hour. So I know you have told us that when you come to this level, stay and observe. This is what I'm doing, and mind goes out, but it is very insignificant thoughts that come, but they come when I observe them, they go. So I just thought of reporting it to you, but to get your idea for what I should be doing for the future. Thank you, Bhante.
So whenever the breath observed, the margin of the in-breath and out-breath merges in each other. So continue to see, and ultimately you feel like no breath. But what happens is the label of the in-breath and label of out-breath drops, because they are edges, they are boundaries, their margins are merging each other. And if you accept it and continue, you know you are breathing, but hardly difference between in-breath and out-breath. When you continue to do that, your body also loses its margin. It becomes a flux. You don't know what is me and what is not me. And this is quite bewildering, quite nauseatic, quite vomitish. But if you can go through it, you can understand it's a flux. And body is there, but difficult to say me and not me. Sometimes enormously expanding, sometimes enormously shrinking. But no margin, no boundary. So when such a thing happens, everything is become just a perception. In and out is a perception. Boundary is in perception. Whether myself is a perception or reality. Concept or reality. So if you see a concept, it's a concept. If you see a reality, it's a reality. So it's a scientific or magic. Reality or concept. So likewise, everything appear to be just a game, just a leela, just a drama, just a wall painting. So you can play with it. But it is happening at the top level of the meditation. Reality is a concept, concept is a reality. In is out, out is in. Because no boundary. So when there is no boundary, no tension. When there is no boundary, no frustration. So you let alone, you let loose your body, is accepting the death. This is epistemologically, you are dealing with the death. For some people, it's psychologically very detrimental. But for the meditator, with the correct perspective, correct preparedness, can do it within 1 hour, 1,001 times. And you understand the question, tension, frustration is always with the boundary. That is how the sectarianism happens. That is how the labeling happens. So as soon you lose boundary, the mind read it as if the object is losing. Object is disappearing like. So the Buddha explained that everything appear into the world by 4 criterions. Akara, Linga, Nimitti, Uddesha. Its shape, its manners, its own intrinsic characteristic and its assigned name. These 4 indicate item by item. But we are meditating, their manners are losing. Shapes are losing. Attributed name also losing. And intrinsic characteristics merge with others. So then appear like it is, the object is losing like. So that's why many people, they are afraid of meditating because they feel their body is losing. Their breath is losing. Their left and right is losing. So they attribute telling that my mindfulness is losing. My concentration is losing. Because they don't understand with the wisdom. This is the changing nature, transient nature. This is a flux. So flux is the stepping stone into the insight meditation.
Thank you, Bhante. And Bhante, originally when we were beginning to meditate, we used to think that something is impermanent, this is coming and this is going, impermanent, we think. Now, at this stage, it is a feeling that comes, feeling of impermanence. Is that right?
I would say when you are thinking with hate. You are thinking with disgust feeling. But when you are experiencing no hate, no disgusted feeling, that's the truth. So therefore many Buddhists, they attribute impermanence and suffering and the soullessness by reductive thinking. This is automatically and universally happening through hatred. But whenever the meditation improves, you realize it, you verify it, no hatred. It's a reality, stark reality. So this is very difficult to understand. You have the impermanence, suffering and soullessness you are talking as a concept or a reality. So let it happen, even the concept, no problem. But meditate till up to the reality, then you understand the difference between the reality and concept regarding to impermanence, suffering and the soullessness.
Right. It is just an observation and carry on as I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. Boma ping.
Teruvan Saranai.
Okay. Dushan, yes.
Ananchi. Oh, Bhante. Hello, everybody. Ante, may I have one worldly question?
Yes, please.
Thanks. I'm just wondering, I'm just curious about the future development of ordinary existence. I mean, as the practice deepens, as I become more familiar with non-self, I would say, being more familiar to be easier at home. How does it occur in ordinary life? I mean, in the conceptual reality, how change our attachment to our mental states, emotions, needs, and those things. I mean, how does it affect our ordinary experience as the meditation deepens?
As a meditator, you start as just a man out of street, and you accept the worldly norms and kind of thing. But once you meditate, once you keep on advancing, you see another dimension of the same world, another dimension of the same terminology, language. So now you become aware of two sides, the conceptual, the conventional side of the world as well as the reality side. So it is like a water living animal become amphibian. He can live dry land as well as water, just like a frog. So how can you explain how the frog can explain to the tadpoles that the mother can go out of the water? Because the tadpoles, the younger one, they are just like a fish. They can't go. So therefore, when you go back to the younger generation, the frog mother is a problem. And the younger one will ask, mother, where were you? And the mother will say, I went to dry land. But the younger one, tadpoles, will never accept it because they can't imagine the frogs can live live in dry land. So like you become amphibian. So then you must understand not to disturb the tadpoles, but they know only one side. So if there is a problem, if there is any problem regarding the meditator and non-meditator, it's utterly the mistake of the meditator. They are messing with other people. They are living in their peace by their own conventional truth, but you don't know how to deal it with the reality that you experience. So that is why the greatness of the Buddha, he lived 45 years on the earth, never fighting, non-coercive, no reaction. So therefore, when I was meditating, I am so thankful to my masters. They were all lay people in 78, 79, 80. They told me, when you are meditating, don't let others know that you are meditating. I am master. I have never seen an efficient person like me. They are always bragging about their meditation, so making friction with others. So when you are going abroad, when you are going extra, to the space, you have to live without gravity. So you can adjust to the non-gravitational field. But when you are entering into the gravitational field, no difficulty. That is, the astronauts are being taught how to behave without gravity and how to get into the gravity. And most important, most interesting, very intriguing thing is, when the shuttle coming to the gravitational force, you find thin layers of air 6 miles away from the sea level. When the shuttle is coming, if you are not entering with exactly the proper angle, you will bump out or you will burnt out. So this 6 degree and 4.48 hundredth calibration must be there. Otherwise, you will kicked off. So likewise, when you after intensive retreat, when you go back, if you do not know how to get into day-to-day life, you'll be either burnt out or you'll be kicked out. So it is very interesting. Not that going out is very simple. When you are re-entering to the household life, when you are re-entering to the gravity, when you are re-entering to the atmosphere, it's an enormous friction. So you must behave in such a way not to create a friction, because there is a particular angle. At that angle, you can come. Even then, the outer layer of the shuttle will burn, but that is a man-made one to protect it. So learn that. That is what you call fit into common sense. So in Sri Lanka, it is not much of a problem because we are with this tradition. But even then, I had that question. So I am slowly coming to the society and going back from the society. Again, coming to the society and going back society. So the Buddha did it daily. Morning 4 hours, he is living in the village in order to go to the alms rounds. And then he come back to the thick forest. Live and meditate in the forest. Only the limited number of people can come. So likewise, the commentator they says, he go to the village out of compassion to share with the people. Again, whenever he fill his bowl, come back to the forest, which is wisdom. So he knows how to balance the wisdom and the compassion. But we have to learn. It's a lifelong experiment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And may I share one acknowledgement for yesterday discussion?
Yeah.
As you mentioned that the natural development of metta through the practice of vipassana, I'm glad for that sharing of your experience, because it touched my heart personally, because this is something I experienced, and I just want to share that I found in my mind the thought that the real sustainable development start with insight, start with real mindfulness. This is what I realized during my PhD, because I studied it, and later I quit science because I didn't find understanding or a way how to do this in science. And I just realized that as I start to be more mindful, my living style start to be more sustainable. I think it's very similar to what you share with the natural arise of compassion through mindfulness, because I also stopped to do formal metta practice, because I realized that it becomes natural state of the mind for most of the time when I'm mindful. This is only what I wanted to share with you. Thanks very much for this talk you share with us. Yes.
Good. Welcome. Share it with all the other Western meditators and colleagues, please.
Thank you. That's all. Thanks for sharing your wisdom with us.
Sadhu.
Okay, any more questions maybe? If not, then I also have one theoretical question. We had a discussion with my wife about this, and I found out that I could not really explain it. I do not have an understanding of the difference between mind and consciousness? Is it like the synonym, or are there some differences?
Yeah, that it's a very difficult to arrive at a theoretical this thing. The mind is in the common sense, and the consciousness is the technical term. And they say in Pali, Mano, Mana, Chitta, Vijnana. These are the terminologies they found in analyzing the Tripitaka. So, Mano is called the unconditional mind or unmanifested kind of mind. When it is manifested as with its one of the traits or whatever maybe, it becomes mana. And once it's defiled and when it's in action, it's called chitta. And sometimes all three put together as called consciousness or vijnana. So there was one monk in Sri Lanka, he was analyzing with the help of the Mahayana tradition and kind of thing. So these are the theoretical way of putting them into, but as far as your question is concerned, vijnana and the mana, or mind or the consciousness, are the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we thought that the consciousness is kind of like broader or something, like it's more connected with like the like we say that there is only one consciousness, like we are all connected, and that's the part of the consciousness, and the mind is more connected with the person. But since there is no person, then maybe they are the same.
I know that what you are going to say is the Carl Jung introduced universal consciousness. He told universal unconscious. As I understand, as far as the breath is concerned, you and me sit together and we can see this is in-breath, this is out-breath. So we can say short, long, cross, subtle, like and disliking. But what about the end of the in-breath? Unconscious. End of the out-breath, unconscious. Beginning of the in-breath, unconscious. Beginning of the out-breath, unconscious. So you and me sitting together, we never feel it because we feel only the manifested consciousness, manifested mindful breath. But the unmanifested part, according to your senses, after a certain amount of grossness only, our senses can feel the incoming in-breath and outgoing in-breath. So what about which is you can't feel, that time, as far as that untouchable, unexperienced part, you and me are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that universal unconscious, we share the same. The Buddha, the Jesus, and the Muhammad, everyone. We are talking about the area that our senses can record. They are different, male, female, good, bad, correct, wrong, everything is there. But unconscious, you can't put labels. But unconscious is more than 80% of our consciousness.
More than 80?
More than 80, sometimes it's 98%. That we are flashes, we are bewildered and dazzled with the conscious part. It is so bright. We are fighting. You are Czechoslovakian, Slovakian. I am Sri Lankan. I am a monk. You are a layperson. Blah, 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 blah. But 98%, 99%, 999%, we both are the same, genetically.
This is actually very relieving. I have noticed it in the past Dhamma talk, or 2 days ago Dhamma talk, that you said that your mind is the same as our mind, and that brought me a big joy that we have the same minds.
Yeah,
it means
that mind, as far as the unconscious is concerned. Consciously, you have a wife, I don't have.
Yes. Yes. Good, thank you, Bhante. We have one more raised hand, so let's give a chance to Samantha to ask a question. We have still 15 minutes.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you, Bante. I would just, it was just a follow-up from Javier's question. I too was wondering about this consciousness, and also where the consciousness is. I mean, is it linked to the brain, the mind and the brain, or is it, some people say it's the heart? So I'm a bit confused where the heart comes into it. Is that from old theory, or is where is there a link between the mind and the brain as well?
So the books, there are a lot of books and theories and PhDs they have written on the mind is based on the heart or the brain. But whenever the consciousness arises, foolishness arises. When there is no foolishness, no consciousness. So therefore, whatever the theories we are developing and the formulas developing indicate our foolishness. So when there is no conscious, no suffering. Whenever we are dealing with the heart and the mind, we are in the left brain and the right brain, correct and the wrong, everything is mind-made games. Mind will never reveal by itself. So by analyzing the mind-made questions, you become fool yourself.
Yeah.
It is,
so these are just,
it is called in Sinhala, horage ammain pena hanawa. So it will never happen. Therefore, this kind of a churning and talking again and again is fertilizing the conscious mind to run. You are burning the candle from both the ends. No end. So the Buddha says, be mindful and mind your own business. It is become harsh, little harsh. But I wrote a book. There is a book called Mind Your Own Business. Recently we translated that. First wrote in English and then translated into Sinhala also.
Oh, good. It would be great to get the book somehow.
I will pass it to you, the English book, Mind Your Own Business.
Great. Great. We would like to have it at the Yavaria.
And you may translate into Slovakian. And so you may go mad.
And if you want to buy it, Bante, where can we get it from?
We are not dealing with money. No, you can't buy Bante.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
Bante is
we
priceless.
Can't send it. We have hard copies also. But I think the soft copy would do.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. So is that what we're... so the karmas, they're all in our conscious mind, and we're trying to deplete, get rid of all the conscious, the karmas, purify that. And then it's all our subconscious mind. It's all the same, the pure, everyone's human beings, subconscious. Once you've got rid of your conscious with the karmas and everything in there, is that... Or is that a hypothetical sort of reasoning?
There is also hypothetical questions.
Yes.
As far as the karmic forces are there, as far as you know it is karmic force, it is not inflicting. If you do not know it is karmic force, then you find a reason with the arrogance and the fault finding, with the attribution with the wrong with the others, and expecting perfections and everything. As far as you don't accept the good begets good and the bad begets bad. So therefore you have to have a certain amount of certain dustbin to put unsortable thing into the karma theory, because it cannot be completely comprehensible. Vaguely you can do it. So as far as you know karmic forces, no irritation, no fault finding, self-criticism, because the karmic force can do. So therefore you are ready to accept it. So therefore, as far as you know it is karma, it is like when you have a serpent venom, we have anti-venom. Soon you put into the anti-venom, venom will nullify it. So therefore you must have a basket, open space for the karma. And whenever you come to the full-fledged mindfulness, karma theory stops. Dhamma theory started. When whenever you are unmindful, you are not mindful. And if you do not know mindful, on the karma theory is working. Dhamma theory stops. So therefore you must not worry about much about the Kamma theory, Kamma and the Kamma theory result. Instead try to be mindful. When you are mindful, they become null and void, not inflicting. You know these things may be attributed to the past Kamma, we have no accounts balance, brought forward. So you can just forgive and forget about yourself, you have forgive and forget about the others also, rather than fighting for the last drop.
Yes. Thank you, Bhante. That's wonderful advice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mind your own business. Mind your own business.
Yes, I'll take that. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. This was a good question. And if we all minded our businesses, then the world would be a beautiful place. Maybe any more questions? We still have some minutes left. So in case somebody has a question, we can use this time.
Jan put me an email asking some shades of meaning of some words, but you can take it up if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, yes. I wasn't sure how you use the term impeachment.
Impingement.
Yes, because I know it as the process that goes on at the court, like we impeach some politics and so on. But and then I checked the dictionary and I saw that it has several other meanings, but I couldn't find the meaning that you meant in your speech.
So what is the jurisdictional dictionary meaning for the impeachment?
Yeah, let me check it again, just to make sure that I don't. No, I need to have the better dictionaries. It was something like going. Oh, come on. Like we have some doubts or worries, or we are making things easier than they are, or that we are judging someone, or that we are refusing something, or also we are refuse and again doubts another synonym for doubts.
Yeah, that means we are making decision in our doubtful areas, which is not in our under control. That may be the idea, impingements, and you are making a bold decision, but that is none of your business. That is none of your area of knowledge. So out of doubt, it can happen. So many of the things in the day-to-day activities, we are rushing to a decision without enough information. Not enough observation, but quick inference. So in meditation, you are asked to have a lot of observation and less inference, less decisions. That is called non-judgmental. So doing a lot of feasibility studies, look at the problem from the different perspectives, rather than rushing to a decision. The people will come and push you, telling that please come out with a decision. Like your mind also will come, but you have to say no. We have to see it from all the different viewpoints. Otherwise, you become very impatient, and rushing to a decision ultimately you have to regret. So therefore, increase the observation and reduce the inference or decision. In the present day education, that is not being appreciated. We are rushing to a decision. Ultimately, we are suffering due to the rushing, because we have gone to a wrong decision. So, under doubtful situation, patience is better than rushing to a decision.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's. That was included in the talk. So I got the point. I will have to think about maybe a single word that could, but probably I have it. Yeah, I probably have it. Like non-judging.
Yeah, non-judgmental.
Non-judging. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, this must be. I mean, nowadays we just heard it with connection with the American presidents.
Yeah.
And there they judge them, not judge them. In that meaning, they really judge them. And Samantha is asking, what's the name of the book?
Name of the?
Name of the book that you just wrote, I understand.
Mind your own business.
Mind your own business, yeah, okay. The answer is mind your own business.
Name as well as the answer
that's a good
both.
title. Thank you, Bhante.
Good. If there are no more questions, then I have just last practical one, because yesterday I think there was a misunderstanding. But yeah, Claudia, do you have a question?
I just wanted to thank maybe Bhante once again just before the end. But if you are going to thank Bhante, then it's okay. I just wanted to express my very deep and sincere thanks, because this for me was one of the even best or most valuable retreats, because it came just in right time for me. And all the comments and advices of Bhante were so just down to the point for me, and really helped me to find the blind spots in my practice. And I can't even express how deeply I appreciate that Bhante really shared without his truly profound knowledge of the Dhamma and his very skillful way of explaining and of bringing our mind to the core of the Dhamma. So I'm so very thankful to Bhante. So thank you so much, and sadhu for all the Dhamma words that you gave to us. That's all from me.
Okay. Yes. I would also like to thank Bhante for sharing his time with us and his knowledge with us. And I wanted to clarify about today's Dhamma talk, because I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding yesterday about the Dhamma talk, because I have to say that I got lost in time a little bit, and I thought we still have one more day, and I was counting with the Dhamma talk that was meant for today, but then suddenly it seemed, I realized it's Saturday today. So Bhante, how do you see it? Do you have time for today's Dhamma talk, or with these questions and answers?
Yeah, I am preparing for today's Dhamma talk.
Yeah, okay, good, because I was counting with today's Dhamma talk, but somehow yesterday we basically skipped the Sunday, but Sunday was never on the plan. We always said it will be only till Saturday, but somehow I forgot that the Saturday was the next tomorrow. So okay, so today at 5 o'clock Sri Lankan time, which is the 1:30 Central European time, we'll have a Dhamma talk.
And Jan, that will be the end. There is no tomorrow 1 o'clock session, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Today is the end. There won't be any. There won't be any 1 o'clock session. No questions and answers. No Dhamma talk tomorrow.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so and at the end of the Dhamma talk today, I will announce it that the donations given to Yavorye will be split half with you, and the other half will stay for supporting Yavorye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
That is the end of the session. Thank you very much for the participation. We make
bye.
ourselves mute.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Sadhu.